How y'all doing, my friends? Fortunately, it's a little late when I record this. I know some friends of mine are gonna leave comments down below and they're gonna say, "Why did you watch this if you didn't want to watch it?" Because it's an old saying: you make a commitment, you gotta stay with the commitment. And I committed to watch all these films. And last video you seen, I did talk about pretty much the first two films, which are miles better than this movie. I was gonna record this one with Awakening, but I figured nah, cause it'd be too long of a title or whatever, and whatever like that. Then I gotta figure stuff. So I just put this on its own, and then I'll do Awakening on its own, I guess, pretty much. And IMDb, this movie got 6.5. That's too damn high, too damn high, and it's got a big fan base. People love this prequel story. I believe Michael enjoys this film. I think Mario didn't mind this film. It's all right. And I don't know. I remember one point I think Aaron liked the film. It's cool. I don't remember for sure. I know one time I remember he talked about it. I'm not sure. Now, Lynn Wiseman did not come back to direct this film because Lynn Wiseman, a little bit before this, had done Live Free or Die Hard, and he was exhausted from that or whatever. But he did come on as one of the producers, and it was based on his story. Him and Danny McBride wrote, and you got these other guy, and this was written during the. This movie was conceived and almost written during the writer's strike, so there were some rewrites done. Robert Orr was one of the guys they brought in. Robert Orr was the guy who wrote Savior with Dennis Quaid. That's a good film. And he wrote 2011's movie The Resident, which I heard bad things about. And you have Dick Blackman and Howard McCann, who came in. Those were the guys that came in rewrites. Now, Dick Blackman was the writer behind Outlander, which I heard bad things about, which he wrote a year before this film. And Rise of the Lycans was the last thing he worked on. Good reason, so. Howard McCann, let's see what he's done. Well, Howard McCann was the director and writer behind Outlander. And, of course, this was the last movie he wrote. Good reason. Now, I will say Bill Nye, or Nighy, or I think Nye, I think it's pronounced Nye, and Michael Sheen are the best actors in this film. I will say that. Stephen McIntosh, who was the actor who played Tanis, that character who gave the information to Celine in Underworld Evolution, he comes into this film. This is a prequel story. You have one of the writers whose character makes an appearance. It says Kate Beckinsale, Celine, and Shane Broly's there. Only in voiceovers, to be honest, which they took from the last film, in all honesty. So it's not like they had a cameo or nothing like that. Especially Shane Broly, which I thought he was going to have at least a cameo. No such thing. Kevin Grevnax, who came on as a producer as well as the writer. This is based on his characters. He comes back into this story as Raz, the faithful subordinate of Lucian from the first film. And there's really not much to tell about this movie. I mean, it's basically an origin story, which I didn't give a fuck about. But hey, the studio ordered the shit. And Len Wiseman really wanted to cross the T's and dot the I's. I don't know who the hell was asking about it. I wasn't. Were you guys asking? Curious about how this war started? I thought we had enough of that in the first film. From the flashback. I think that was perfect. Because what's the point of doing a prequel if you know how it's going to end? See, Teef See, John Connor, I know somebody mentioned Terminator Salvation. See, that could work because there's good stories there, you know, from 2018, I guess that's that movie takes place, all the way to 2029 in the movie universe or whatever. There's some interesting stories there, some battle stories you hear there from John Connor going into the trenches, fighting the Endos or whatever, or him meeting Kyle Reese, them gaining each other's trust at the battlefield and stuff. There's interesting stories there though to be told and stuff. And yes, if they would have went through with a 100% honest Star Trek prequel, there would have been interesting stories to tell there and stuff. You know, but here, this is not interesting, though. It's kind of like, it's trying to be like Titanic. And Patrick Tatopoulos, he's the guy who did the creature effects for the first two films. He got the opportunity to direct this film. He, at times, I mean, the budget for this film, let's look at the budget for this movie. Dino Lake is 35 million, pretty much. And it became a hit naturally. It grossed 20, but worldwide it made 91 and stuff. But anything in the trivia? Yeah, there's nothing much on the fucking trivia, pretty much. But I'm sorry, I wish I could be more louder, but fortunately it's 12 o'clock at night. I don't want to wake up people in the house. Let's see, how do we start this? There's spoilers in this, of course. Pretty much the whole thing with William, the werewolf, who was the pure werewolf, brother of Marcus. Marcus is not even mentioned in this film at all, which I find strange. Since, you know, Victor's a vampire, you would think maybe Marcus would be somewhere around there. No. Nowhere to be found. Nowhere in sight. So they have the werewolves. These are full-blown werewolves. The ones that once they're bitten, they stay in werewolf form. They don't turn. And they keep them as guards for the daylight to keep people away from the castle. Humans who wish to do the Victor and his clan harm and stuff. Until one day Victor comes in and he sees there's a werewolf. Something about this made me think of Rise of the Apes for some reason, but I will say the acting here is better than Rise of the Apes in my humble opinion. I don't know why, man, because it has Rise in the title, at least. Shit. But how all of a sudden Victor comes in with a crossbow and he sees there's a werewolf there with a human baby there. So he shoots at the werewolf and it's a baby boy, and he discovers as the baby boy gets older, it has fighting ability and is very strong like a werewolf, but is able to turn on the thing of a full moon, and it can take human form and beast form. So Victor knows this is danger, but yet it could be a good, useful weapon. So and that person, of course, is Lucian, Michael Sheen's character. And of course, Victor has his daughter Sonia, who is, I guess we get the idea as kids, I guess, but it's not much of an idea. We got to figure it out, fill in the blanks. And she fires an arrow at him. He catches it, and Victor asks her, "What should we do with him? Should we make more like him?" So they make Lucian bite humans to turn them into what he is, pretty much, so he can use them as slaves and force them to guard the castle, pretty much, for when they sleep at daytime, so they don't be attacked or whatever and stuff. So this happens for a good amount of time until years pass. Now Lucian is older. Now he's Michael Sheen. Now you get a scene there where we see Sonia. She's growing up. She's Rhonda, I can't act, Mitra. I'm not a fan of this woman as an actress. I thought she stunk in Doomsday. I did not care for her in Shooter. I didn't like her in Shooter. Let me see what else she's done. I want to look. I know she's Basically, she's the real Lara Croft. I know they used her body likeness for Lara Croft. Let's see everything she's done. Shooter. She was in Skinwalkers. I didn't give a fuck about Skinwalkers. It's a shitty movie. A lot of TV stuff. I didn't mind her in Highwaymen, to be honest. Highwaymen, I thought she was okay at most. It's more Jim Caviezel's movie, Frankie Faison's movie than her movie, but I didn't mind her in the little dosages you had her in Highwayman. Yes, I did not mind her in Get Carter. For the little dosages she's in the film. But I don't think she's a good actress, to be honest. I really don't. If anything, I think she's overrated. But she hasn't done much, pretty much. She was on this TV series Strike Back, which I think that's that TV series that's on Cinemax, that new show that Cinemax came out with. Yeah. I think she's on that show. Pretty much. Which I don't care about because I don't got Cinemax. She goes in, she's a death dealer, of course. But during this time period, during the early ages, we see swords and wizardry and all that sort of stuff, back to the dark ages, you could say. And something about the way the fight scenes are cut or edited, they're not real good. Like sometimes you don't see the insertion shots of the sword. You see that's why they splat. Like I don't know if Patrick Tatopoulos or his editor or his second unit person did a fucked up job with the fight scenes. Plus, I don't buy Rhonda Mitra in any of the fight scenes at all. Like I said, I didn't like her in Doomsday. I didn't like her there. I know I'm not gonna like her here. I know some friends of mine don't mind Doomsday that much. It's okay. It's cool. To each his own. No problems. Just wasn't for me. Interesting idea. Okay, you take a little bit of Escape from New York. It's a little bit of 28 Weeks Later. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Then you throw something there involving swords and this. And then Road Warrior thing. And it's just a mess of a movie, to be honest. Very messy. And then this movie here. She's being chased. Now, you do have CGI used more in this. And I know it was against the director's wishes, but on these shots, since this was bigger, a little bit more bigger than the other films, they had to do some shots of a bunch of werewolves chasing her. So they couldn't get a bunch of guys in suits chasing her. So they had to use CGI. But not the best CGI. Shitty CGI. So Lucian saves her life. She basically treats him like shit right there. And Victor comes up to him. You wish to live longer. Well, you're prior to your race. You wish to live longer. You keep your eyes to the floor. In other words, he sees him looking at her, at his daughter. He don't like that shit. So he goes up, climb up some hill or something like that. And this is just very abrupt. She shows up there, and you get I don't call this a love scene. I call this a sex scene, really. But it's trying to be like the scene in 300. But 300 did that better, though. Because I like Gerard Butler. I like Lena Headey. I buy the relationship. I don't buy this relationship. It's just out of nowhere. All these fade out shots in and out. And then it zooms out. We see her pasty, skinny, flat ass. Not fat ass, flat ass. Laying all the way down there. He's on next to her like that. And he dreams of escape and stuff like that. And she says, but please don't leave. You leave, they're going to find you. They're going to kill you and this and that. So he escapes. I guess he brings a bunch. Because first, I think they're supposed to bring these nobles in there. Because I think Victor's still dealing with humans or whatever in the village or whatever like that. And they pay for his protection from werewolves and stuff like that. I mean, they pay him for protection and shit. And they're supposed to bring some nobles to the castle. But there's in that forest where you have Williams pure blood werewolves all over the place. Okay, they attack the carriage there. You have a man and his family there, his wife and his child. They don't attack him. They just attack the people guarding where he's got there. So Sonia, Rana Mitra, to the rescue, comes in, fucks up a little bit of them. All right, bad cutaway shots, but it's practical at least. But Lucian tells some of the guards, look, you should send some more people over there. He knows that the more werewolves, this is going to be slaughtered. They pay him no mind, so he runs off and escapes to save her ass, a flat, pasty ass. He fucks a couple of them up. He takes off his collar so he could turn to scare the other werewolves away. Victor sees this, bitch slaps him all over the place, and whips him with these blades that are silver, and gets all these 21 lashes. And basically, she tells him to make a plan to escape. You got Tannis, the Stephen McIntosh character who's in Evolution. He knows that the Rhonda Mitra is fucking around with Michael Sheen or whatever, but he doesn't say anything until she confronts him about it. He says all he wants is a place on the seats or whatever to be control of some stuff, to give up her spot for whatever. She says okay, so he helps her make the plan for this escape. You got, of course, Karen Gurax. I can never get his name. Guvarex Raz. He's in human form. He ultimately gets turned against his will, not by Lucian, but by the wolf that they got, the werewolf they have prisoner there, that they bite all the humans to turn them, I guess, when Lucian doesn't turn them, and everything like that. And he leads this escape. He takes all the others like him out, the Lycans or whatever. They all escape, run to the woods, until Victor suspects that his daughter's lying to him. He confronts her about it. He bites her in the neck, gets into her blood, and he sees all the deceive. He's pissed, naturally, because he's a racist and slave driver. I don't understand. People say that they feel sorry for Bill Nighy's character. I don't feel sorry for him. I'm sorry. The man's a scumbag. He's forcing the villagers to pay money to him, even though he's not really doing a good job protecting them from the pure blood werewolves, in my humble opinion. That's just my opinion. And stuff. I know there's one scene there, one of the humans tell him something and he didn't like it. He takes the guy and bangs his head against the wall. You see a big split there. Okay, practical effect. Anybody else want to speak their mind? Okay. But I didn't feel sorry for him, especially the stupid decision he makes. To make a long story short, Lucian gets word that Victor found out about him and his daughter, and he tries to go to go back to get more guys at the same time to rescue her. And that's where you get the whole scene where she escapes and she fights and kills one of her own kind, and Lucian is surrounded by crossbows. She has a fight with Victor, and that's when she drops the big bomb on him during the middle of the sword fight, which the sword fight was badly edited. Horrible, very, very horrible. And this gets a higher mark than Awakening. Fuck that. No. Awakening, the action scenes are handled way better than here. This doesn't deserve 6.5. Bullshit. My dick. It doesn't deserve 6.5. I'm sorry. Awakening gets 6.3. This gets 6.5. Fuck you. Not you guys, but you know what I mean. But right there, the people are entitled to their opinion. People say, oh, but it's a very deep story. It's a tragic story. I know I'm a guy who says the real love story is the doomed one, but not if you can see it coming miles away. That's the problem with this. I know the doom and the tragedy is coming. It's like Titanic all over again. I know what's going to happen. In the first Terminator film, I didn't know what was going to happen. You know? Well, I can mention many occasions. I didn't know that ending was going to happen in the end of Sarah Connor Chronicles and the end of the series. Okay, that this was going to be like this. And stuff like that. It was abrupt, I know. And stuff. But it was a surprise. Or even in The Fly. What happens at the end of The Fly? You guys know, you can name movies where you had a doomed tragic romance, love story. But here, it doesn't count because, for one, your lead girl cannot act. Rhonda Mitra does not deliver, in my humble opinion. People saying I'm being biased toward her or whatever. It's not that. I given her a chance. I went with an open mind. I seen it. I was not impressed. And plus, let me get to the rest of the film first. She drops the H-bomb on her father, saying that, you're going to kill me and your grandchild? So now he's really, really pissed. For one, that she fucked around with a Lycan. And two, no protection. Of course, it's the time of the century, there were no rubbers. And that she's pregnant with a hybrid child. He doesn't want the race to be polluted. So he takes her at knife point and basically has her in front of an inquisition, and they all vote her death. Even he has the last vote. He does it. And this whole crocodile tears shit. Oh, look, he's crying. He feels bad about it. He has to send his daughter to death. That explains why he was so pissed at Celine with the thing with Michael in the first film. Well, I got enough of this in the flashback sequence in the first film. Why do I need a 92-minute movie explaining this shit? Really? Just so you could, bring back some of the actors you used in the first film that you killed off, just to give them more to do in the franchise. So it means nothing, though. He has a last moment where, of course, Lucian is in chains. He watches Ron Demetrio. The sun comes up, and she burns up in CGI glory. He screams with toy lungs. Okay, it's good acting fun by Michael Sheen. I'll give him that. Michael Sheen's a good actor. I give him that. Bill Nighy's a good actor, but this is a useless prequel, in my humble opinion. Ron Demetrio? Fuck no. What if they give this a better actor? It would still be a depressing story, to be honest. Because you know it's coming. Then he escapes. He, some of the pure blood werewolves and some of the Lycans he helped escape. Charge the castle. Okay, you get a bit of blood splats here and there, but once again, not edited the right way. And so he has his little sword fight scene with Victor, which is half-assed because he's not going to kill Bill Nighy. Celine's got to do it in the first film. So it's really nothing. It's just a little battle. If he wanted to, he could have took him out, shut him down. As he had him close to the sun like that, he stabs him in the fucking mouth, then drops him into the water. Because he has to do that because it's a prequel. Then I guess his body floated all the way to where they had this ship at, where Tanis was there, Stephen McIntosh, and I guess you could say, I guess that's Marcus, pretty much. That was one of the other coffins, but they don't say it's Marcus. It's Marcus. And I don't know who the third person is, if it's Amelia or what, the other elder or whatever. So he goes in there, puts that, then you hear a voiceover from Shane Broly. I guess that's why his name is on the cast, stating about the whole statement. He said that he kept all the secrets to Celine or whatever. And they're like that he kept all the secrets in the family and stuff like that. And the whole connection. Ooh. But I don't want this movie in my collection. I saw behind the scenes of this film because the DVD extras are uploaded on YouTube. Not much to run home about. What happens is with this film, you could smell the rewrites. You really could. Like, something doesn't make no sense. Like, wouldn't it be interesting if you would have watched them build the relationship? Between Lucian and Sonia? No, there's no build up to it. It's just they're little kids. No connections or nothing. Unless it was deleted scenes. I don't know. Right? Then they're adults. He sees herself getting her ass bitten off, or flat ass bitten off by a fucking wolf. She insults him in front of everybody. He runs up some mountain somewhere. She sees him there. She gives him a piece. And that's it. Nothing to it. Nothing to draw me in. Nothing investment. No build up to it. Nothing to build up as a tragedy. Know why? Ron Demetrio can act. The people who made the film probably know that. Kate Beckinsale could outact her off the planet, in my humble opinion. I'm thankful they didn't give her Celine. She probably would have fucked up the character. She was terrible in Skinwalkers. I remember her in Skinwalkers. I didn't like her in Skinwalkers. She's terrible in this film. The score by Paul Helsing, he came back to do the score for this. Not really much to run home about. Soundtrack, nothing to run home about. Makeup effects, well, when you see some of it there, it's there, but the editing is half-assed. Really, another prequel that came out in 2009 that wasn't needed, just like X-Men Origins Wolverine. That prequel wasn't needed. Alright, enough, 2009 too, right? Shit. But it made its money. Say it like this. This made its money. And I think at one point the producers thought this would tie up the whole trilogy. I said, I don't think so. Because obviously somebody came up with the idea, hey, let's do another Underworld. And Awakening came, and Awakening brought back my love, or what I feel, like they say in that documentary I seen for Awakening, which that's up on YouTube too. Kate Beckinsale is this franchise. hands down. After I seen an awakening, I believe it. I believe it. That they realized that, you know, maybe they got around the Matrix because they didn't think, oh, we're gonna do no more Underworld films. We could just tell this beginning story, then that'd be it. It'd be done with. But I guess somebody figured, hey, let's do another one. Come on. You know, Kate's game. Kate ain't doing much. Why not? You know, we need to get some Underworld money in there. I mean, come on. It's one of our franchises we got next to the fake Resident Evil films. Let's go for it. Let's do it. Let's get down. That don't make no sense. But with exception to Michael Sheen, Bill Nye, those are the two only actors I liked it in the bunch. Kevin Gurax, he's in a little bit of the film. He's okay at most. But everybody else, to me, just didn't seem to matter. Rhonda Mitra doesn't matter. The story didn't matter. The direction, Patrick Tatopoulos, I want to see if this guy is going to do any more directing. Because maybe with a better movie or better script, maybe he could do something with it. I don't know. Let's see. He directed two stuff. What did he direct? He directed something in 2000, a short thing called Bird of Passage. After this, he has never directed again. He should get another shot at directing. Get a better editor for your action scenes, maybe. If he cut these action scenes himself, then I can understand him not directing anymore. But he doesn't deserve 6.5 in my humble opinion. I know good friends of mine love this film. It's alright. But me, I knew it was shit going in. And guess what? I wasn't impressed. Besides Michael Sheen, besides Bill Nye, that's it. Nothing to it. A climax which is very predictable. And I know there's not going to be no retribution pretty much. Because Lucian does not kill Victor. Celine does. So it's a useless story to me. The studio ordered the prequel. I have no idea why. Maybe to give Bill Nye and Michael Sheen more to do, maybe? I don't know. Or maybe they could finally use Rhonda Mitra because they were considering her for Celine. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But rating for this film, really, in all honesty, I would not watch this film again. Not even as a guilty pleasure. I would give this 0 out of 10. I'm sorry. This was not for me. I'm glad I finally did see it. Now I could judge it. And my predictions for the film were right. When I seen, I wasn't right. Pretty much. So, thank you for tuning in. 0 out of 10 the rating for this one. And the next video, you will see pretty much, I would say, probably sad to say the last Underworld sequel. Pretty much, judging by the box office take. But I'm looking forward to revisiting that again, though. More than this fucking movie here I just finished watching. At least to wipe the bad taste out of my mouth from this movie. But thank you all for tuning in. And you all have a good night. Later.